So we're going to start with Andrea, who's going to tell us about scaling up integrated care around the SCIROCCO program. Before I keep pressing forward, it'll start the video. Yeah.
Great, thank you. So in my 5 minutes presentation, I would like to feature the European project called SCIROCCO. This project addresses the challenge of scaling up of integrated care and readiness for technology-enabled care. And we specifically trying to address this challenge through the development of an online self-assessment tool for integrated care, which consists of 12 layers of the integrated care. And we currently test and validate the various purposes how this tool can be applied. And for today, we prepared a short video demonstrating how this tool can be used in the multidisciplinary setting to assess the maturity of the healthcare system.
Let's say we have a multidisciplinary team consisting of a doctor, a nurse, an IT specialist, and an administrator. Each of the team members would like to assess the maturity of their healthcare system independently and then come together to reach a consensus. The doctor accesses the tool, goes to the Maturity Model Questionnaire Index page, and clicks on Create a New Questionnaire. This will take her to a page where, on the left-hand side, she has a form containing the 12 dimensions, each with its ratings, and on the right-hand side, a spider diagram, which is automatically populated when filling in the form. The readiness to change dimension is open by default, and the doctor could read its narrative by clicking on the eye icon. Let's say that for this dimension, she decides that the 4th radio button is appropriate for her healthcare system. This 4th radio button corresponds to the 3rd rating. When selecting it, it is represented graphically onto the spider diagram. To pass on to the next dimension, the doctor can use the arrow. For structure and governance, again, let's say that she will pick the 4th radio button, which again is represented onto the spider diagram. To pass on to the 3rd dimension, she can use the tab at the top and enter her answer. She can also open dimensions by using the labels next to the diagram. Also, she can directly enter her ratings onto the diagram, which will automatically open the dimension and select the rating onto it as well. As she goes on, we can see something looking like a spider web forming onto the diagram, which is why this type of diagram is called a spider diagram. The doctor will continue until she fills in all of her ratings. For each of the dimensions, she is also requested to provide a justification, a level of confidence, and state whether she thinks somebody else could provide a more confident judgment. But we will skip these questions for the purposes of this video. Before saving her questionnaire, the doctor must also provide a name for it. In this case, let's say she names it Health System Assessment. When she clicks Save Questionnaire, the tool will provide a confirmation that her questionnaire was successfully saved. So the doctor will end up with this spider diagram. The other members of the team also provide their ratings and may all have different ratings for different dimensions. So let's say that in this case, this is the spider diagram obtained by the nurse, the one obtained by the IT specialist, and the one obtained by the administrator. When they come together to discuss, the tool provides support for overlaying the different spider diagrams, like this. So we can clearly see here that they haven't agreed on the same rating for all of the dimensions. In particular, for standardization and simplification, somebody has picked a higher rating. This was the IT specialist who states, we are all using HL7 Fire. 2 of the users considered that the ratings should be 2 levels lower. It is the doctor and the nurse who say, yes, but getting the devices to interoperate is a nightmare. The administrator considers that the rating should be somewhere in between. And he explains, this will be resolved soon as we are joining an international standards group for devices. In this case, the team may decide that the rating shouldn't be as optimistic as proposed by the IT specialist, nor should it be as pessimistic as proposed by the doctor and nurse. And they may decide on the intermediate rating provided by the administrator. They must also decide on the rating for breadth of ambition. Here, somebody proposed a lower rating. It was the nurse who states, so much of what we do still uses paper. The doctor disagrees. She explains, this is true, but our plans for integration between and across levels are more ambitious than in neighboring regions. The other 2 users aren't sure and so have just provided an intermediate rating. In this case, the discussion is between the doctor and nurse only. And because the doctor has had communication with neighboring regions, the team may decide that her rating is the correct one, and thus decide on the higher rating. The team will go on to make a decision for all of the dimensions. and end up with a graphical representation on the spider diagram looking like this. This was a demonstration of how the tool supports discussion within a multidisciplinary team, negotiation, and consensus making regarding the level of maturity of their healthcare system. Thank you for your attention.